Like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episode. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, you're listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the podcast that focuses on helping you create space to attract more money, love, and happiness in your life. And I am your host, Janet M. Taylor, and I want to say hello if you're a regular listener. Welcome if you're listening for the very first time. Hope you're having a great start to your week. And of course, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, please leave a review so I can continue bringing you episodes each and every week. Well, in this episode, I'm excited because I am joined by Ola Jackson. Ola and I have been friends probably for at least 20 something years, because as long as I've had my business. And she is the creator and the founder of Your Stylist Ways. And she's going to be sharing strategies for those of us women who are over 50, how we can pivot in our career as well as our business. I'll also be sharing my product suggestion, app suggestion, as well as my repurpose suggestion for this week. And of course, my book suggestion too. And my quote for this week is, over the last year, have you had to pivot? I would love for you to share and share in what area. You made a pivot in your career, pivot in your business, pivot in your life. So please share again. Over the last year, have you had to pivot? We've all had to pivot. So personal reasons why there are pivots: company downsizing or restructuring, possible job location, company closing, you want to improve your life, poor relationship with coworkers and managers, not a good fit with the company, personal contributions were not valued by the company, and ineffective leadership at work, which is why I'm excited because I get to share with you my conversation with Ola Jackson. She is the founder and CEO of OWN, the Onyx Women's Network, media targeting women of color, which includes a business magazine, leadership website, which profiles successful entrepreneurs, and a lifestyle blog called Your Stylish Ways, which infuses style and self-care for women over 40. Her focus is on financial literacy, entrepreneurship, career advancement, and wellness. She is also a speaker who shares with other entrepreneurs on how she survived 30 years in business and went from struggle to success while overcoming personal obstacles and professional barriers. She is now in the process of relaunching her YouTube channel called The New Network TV to provide content exclusively for midlife women. As a result of her successful ventures, she has been featured in a number of newspapers and magazines and has been a frequent guest on various radio shows and talk shows. Ola was named one of the most influential women in Pennsylvania. She was honored with the Talk Minority Action Group Women of Distinction Award and the Mount Ararat Community Active Center Award. She was selected Businesswoman of the Year by the Negro Business and Professional Women's Club. She was also honored by the NAACP in recognition of her role as a businesswoman, and she received the Women of Excellence Award from the Professional Women in Business Club and the Women's Distinction Award from Ebenezer Baptist Church. She is an alumni of the Year for the Robert Morris University, and she was inducted in the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. She's currently working on a book called Homegirl CEO. She's been married for 35 years and is the mother of an adult son who has autism. So sit back and enjoy my conversation with Ola Jackson. Well, listeners, I am so excited because I have a dear friend, Ola Jackson of Your Stylish Ways, and she's going to be talking about how we can pivot our career, our business for success. So, welcome, Ola.
Hello, it is so good to actually see you. I was going to say hear from you, but to see you. I am so excited. And we've been around for how long now?
I was thinking about that. I think it hasn't been like at least 20 something years because I was a
26
part
years.
of the magazine.
Right. And I have 30 years this year.
I knew it was 30. I knew it was 30. I didn't know exactly how much, but I knew it was 30. So before we get started on the pivoting,
Mhm.
what is Your Stylish Ways?
Your Stylish Ways is a blog platform for midlife women who are asking, what about me? And saying, I'm not done yet. We infuse style with self care.
I love it. And if you don't follow her, you should. And of course, all of that information will be on the show page. So, Ola, why is it hard for us, and specifically as women, why is it hard for us to pivot, whether it's pivoting in our careers or pivoting in our business?
Because change is one of the hardest things to do. Change and letting go. Our comfort zone can become our danger zone because we say, but I've always done it that way. And so to make that change and to pivot, it's like entering into an unfamiliar territory. And especially if you're a certain age and you're saying, am I too old for that? As I questioned myself, oh, do I really want to start something new or make this transition? And I said, you know what? Just wing it. Go with it. So it is hard to change because we're comfortable. I mean, we barely change our house, the room in the same way. We don't even change our hairstyle in the same way since we're, in our 20s. So just that fear of change is one reason.
And you're so correct because I mean, like you said, the hair, the
Uh-huh.
clothes, the way our house is set up. And even like you said, it's just that fear of just doing something different. And
Mhm.
one of the things I've challenged myself to, because I've noticed over the past few years, is each year I want to learn
Oh,
something new, something completely different from what anybody would think Janet would do, just to kind of broaden my horizons, but also sometimes just to meet other people and meet
oh,
interesting
sure.
people and get something off of that. So for people who were like on that edge thinking, and I think because of the times, a lot of people have to pivot.
Oh, sure.
Um, because they're either doing something they don't want to do, or because sometimes the environment has made it so that they can no longer do what they're used to doing. So, how can people, or women in particular, make that change and pivot?
You have to ask yourself this: is this still working for me? You have to come out of denial and do an assessment. Is this really working for me? Because I know people will run a business even if it's not making any money because they still want to do that because passion can become poison if you're so passionate that you just refuse to let it go. Oh, I'm so passionate about this, I'm passionate about that. But you can nurture your passion in other ways because my transition was not a drastic pivot. I basically work with women starting their businesses and then I added, because you don't have to completely let go of what you used to do. I added the part about self care because I realized women want self care, but they just don't know what to do. And they need role models to help them do it. And they need a whole lot of motivation because we can get hyped up. It's like starting a business. Oh, I'm hyped up. I'm ready for this. Oh, went to this workshop. Next week, oh, I don't know about this. So our mission is to keep it going. We have so many ideas and there's role modeling and there's more stories and resources that when you get off track, and we all do, we all say, oh, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to work out. But people say, oh, I saw you working out on your video, or I saw you doing this. And because it's like advertising, the more you see it, the frequency, and when you see yourself, because that's the great thing about social media. Before it, we're role modeling celebrities that we couldn't identify with. But when you see that everyday woman who looks like you, she's your size, she's your color, she's your age, and you say, yes, I can do that too. But we have to constantly remind them to do it and how to do it. Just step out there, because if it doesn't work, no one's holding you hostage. And don't be afraid for someone to say, well, I thought you were going to start that flower business. You know what I always say, tell people, say I took a detour. You don't have to say you quit. No, I'm on a journey and I may have gotten to the green light and I can go. But then there's a yellow light that says, okay, stop, assess this, just yield for a little while until you can keep moving. Or it's okay, completely okay. And it's a form of success if that red light says, don't do that anymore right now, or maybe never. Because we live in a society where people are saying, go for it, go get 10 streams of income. And what do you mean you don't have 5 businesses? You're a multi-entrepreneur. That has got to stop. It really has. It's happiness is the new success. That's basically it.
And I like the way you said about having all the things. Sometimes that's not for everybody.
It is not.
Sometimes just focusing on one thing, doing it the best you can, but still having, like you said, that self-care time.
Uh-huh. And having the flexibility.
Yeah, because I think, and as women, we need that. And I think for me, one of the things I had to decide, I had to really realize is I love organizing, but I'm not the Janet at 20 or 30 because I am, 58.
Uh-huh.
And I realize I do things a little slower. It takes me a little longer to recover. I still organize, but I had to like pivot, like, okay, so if I still like organizing, what else can I do when it comes to all of that?
Uh-huh.
But I like what you said. You said something about passion becomes the poison.
Right. Because people, I had someone call me this week and it's, oh, no, I want to get something trademarked. What do you think about this? I said, well, it's going to cost you $300 and something. Oh, no, I'm passionate about this, but I don't have that. Well, you're passionate about it, but you're not passionate enough to invest in it. Because everybody says, oh, the first thing you have to have is passion. Passion has to lead to profit in business. And that's the bottom line. Passion has to lead to profit. And people will say, everybody's going to love my apple pie because my grandmama loved my apple pie, so I'm going to put it out there. I'm like, well, or do you have a plan? You have this. They feel all they need is passion to be the pathway to success. No, you need a plan to get on the pathway to success. And it's the same with pivoting. You're starting something new in a sense. And like you said, you're not the same person that you were before. That's why it's about, I always say, evolving women. Because we're relaunching our YouTube channel called the New Network TV, because I'm tired of seeing people who don't represent older women. Christy Brinkley is not somebody I can identify because I can afford plastic surgery right now. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. And I think people appreciate seeing people who look like them and seeing what's realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically do to alter my body? What's realistic? What are my expectations of someone in my 60s? And so we started the New Network TV because I'm saying we're not old, we're new. And new stands for nurturing evolving women.
I love that. And you have been a really good example of a pivot because you started with, excuse my voice, you started with the magazine,
right,
and then you went digital.
Mm-hmm.
but then you still continue to nurture those women of color.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started nurturing women of color over a certain age,
Oh yes.
all the things that sometimes we just put on the back burner. And I just love, your journey of pivoting your business. It's like you said, sometimes you don't necessarily have to leave what you're
Right.
doing. You just kind of just have to make a little pivot over to either to the left or to the right, depending
And
on what
I
you
love the word nurturing because I treat it like a flower.
do.
If you don't give it water, you got to feed it sometimes.
Yep.
Sometimes you think it's dying and you go, let me put some little seed. And all of a sudden, "Ooh, what happened here? It just blossomed all over again."
Yes.
You're nurturing. And as women, we don't have to think of ourselves as getting older. We are evolving. And I think, and we're seeing things differently. And so we need something that speaks to us because we're still invisible. We're still invisible. We're being told that Jennifer Lopez is the new face of 50. Well, that's not my face. If I had some more work, I'm mad at her because if I had the resources, this would be an old face of Ola. But we have to be realistic about our lives because we're living longer. And people, I have a friend who just started a new job at 63 and she is excited. I have friends who are buying houses in their 60s, still traveling. So it's almost like they're starting all over again. There's when we were younger, somebody 60 like, oh my God, they're in a house coat and some big rollers, and they got the fuzzy slippers. No, honey, six pencil skirts, stiletto pumps, and cinched waist. So times have changed. We have to change with it.
And you're so right because the woman she's a mentor of mine, she's 90 years young.
Uh-huh.
And she's saying, Janet, life begins at 90.
Uh-huh.
And she celebrated one birthday in the state of Delaware.
Uh-huh.
And her second birthday party was in the state of Georgia.
Oh
And
yeah.
she wrote her first book at 78. So you're right. It's like people like that. It's like, wait a minute, this is just the beginning for those of us who are, 50, 60.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, and like you said, those women are doing things. So yes, a pivot doesn't necessarily have anything to do with age.
Oh
Age
no, because
is a number.
at a certain age, you're learning about what really matters. In your 20s, you're chasing something. In the 30s, you may have it. In your 40s, you're thinking about getting rid of it. In your 50s, it's you want it gone because you want to renew. Like, I don't want all this stuff in my house. Why did I buy a handbag? Why? What's this? I got two couches, two dining room tables. Wow, what is going on here? Because we've been taught that things make us happy, and nobody sat in college and said and took the class. How do you really be happy in life? We were taught to chase things. Oh, you chase this, and people say, get out there and think big, and get out there and lean in. You better lean back.
And you are so right. You are so right. Well, Ola, I could talk to you all day. But my one question is, how do you stay organized? Because I see, you've got the closet all together, and I love it. If you listeners, you have to follow her because Ola will give you some nice little tips and hacks. And I did use the hack in regards to nail polish. It was like, it's like, yes, that was the best hack. It was like sometimes you want to wear the red, but then it's like, wait a minute.
Girl, I follow my own advice.
Yep, I'm like, looks, I got the beige. I went the next day and bought it. I said, this is the best hack ever. So, but because I know you're a wife,
Uh-huh.
you're a mother, you're a businesswoman, you're involved in the community. So like, how do you kind of manage that?
I kind of break my days up in threes. First of all, when you get older, you realize the importance of priorities. I mean, the prioritizing is the epitome of a plan. And what's important to me today may not be important next week or was not great yesterday. So, as a business owner, the first thing I had to do is get the money. So, when I do my day, I'm creating things to submit to sponsors, submit to underwriters. So, I spend that time working on how do I get the money. Then, because the your Stylist Ways blog is consuming, I had no idea how much time it takes because you never know what it takes until you start doing it. You never know what it's and so those are things I do on the weekends, because someone told me years ago, while your clients are still up, you should be still up working with them, or working on something related to them. So don't do things that aren't really necessarily directly related to clients when you're working with them and yet you're working on your blog. No, do that on the weekends. And of course, my son, he has autism, and so I have to spend time with him. You may have seen me walking with him in the morning because that's a part of my life and my self-care. I start every day, and I say this all the time, by doing something for myself, because all of this could be gone. The business, who I may be by myself at some point. So if nothing else, at the end of the day, if we were to say, okay, what's really important to me after all these years, you would want your health. You would want your health and your well-being and your happiness. So people say, I don't have time to work out. You know what? That's the first thing I do, because I don't want to get through the day and I've helped everybody else. I'm exhausted and mentally and emotionally drained because that part I didn't organize enough to take. So I say, do that first. I don't care if it's 5 minutes or half an hour, do that first.
And I do too. I make sure I take time to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the same thing. It's like anything business related, boom, that becomes a priority.
Mm-hmm.
But I also incorporate time for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, how can the listeners get in contact with you?
They could either email me at ola@onyxwoman.com, spelled ONYX like the stone. They can call me 412-731-5159, or my your Stylist Ways blog. If you pull up your Stylist Ways, we just come right up.
And of course, listeners, I will have a direct link to your Stylist Ways so you can check Ola out. I'm telling you, I still think about it was one piece that you found and you painted it red because, red's my favorite color. And then you had put it in your house. She has a lot of great tips. It's like
I found
self-care.
it in the neighbor's house, neighbor's front yard.
Oh. I mean, for your home, for your life, for your business. And, she tells you how to accessorize things. So you have to follow her. So, Ola, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to seeing you in person.
Me too.
So, what wisdom nugget did you get from my conversation with Ola about the pivot? I would love for you to share. And of course, you can always share by leaving me a voicemail, or of course, you can always share by just commenting below the link where I post information about this podcast. So let's talk to Taylor's move, transition to Taylor's tip time in organizing yourself for a pivot. You want to set a goal. Is the pivot going to be for home, for business, for career? Create a timetable and a plan. You want to pivot within 30 days. You want to pivot within 60 days. Because pivot within 30 days means that you're going to do all the research you need to do in order to make the next step. Then you want to maybe schedule some coaching, some classes, depending on what type of pivot you're going to be doing. You want to find a mentor who has the experience in the area you want to pivot. That's a good thing. And you want to enjoy the journey. So 1, set goals. 2, create a timetable, a plan. 3, schedule some coaching or classes. 4, find a mentor. 5, enjoy the journey. Well, of course, maybe you're at a place where one of the areas you want to pivot is you want to get organized. So if you've been working on getting organized and feel that you need someone to guide you from start to finish by providing you with details needed to clear your clutter and get organized, let's talk so I can share how you can get back on track and get organized with virtual sessions. All you have to do is go to my website at www.janetmtaylor.com and schedule a free 15-minute session so we can talk about it further. Or maybe you are just overwhelmed with feeling like you can't manage your work, your business, your life. Let me help you. I work with clients so they can get things done without feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and burned out. and they can create a life they want so they can have time to do all the things they want to do without feeling guilty. So click the link in the show page, Strategize and Organized. Well, of course, I want to thank you for following me on social media, for your likes, your retweets, for your sharing. Please continue to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course on Pinterest. And, maybe it's time for you to shake things up a little bit in the work from home environment. Add some color, do some little rearranging of the furniture. Check out that board on my Pinterest page. And of course, I've also got boards to help you organize your life, or just some things just to inspire you as well. So check those out as well as my YouTube channel. And ladies, if you're thinking of getting your life organized, but you don't want to get overwhelmed, don't get overwhelmed. Join my Facebook group. There's a group of women. They're all on that same journey. Some of the women post stuff of what they're doing because that's what they need. They just like to feel the accountability. Others post a picture. I come on, give them some strategies. People post questions. Whatever it is you want. It's a free community. And it's my Facebook group called Living Life that is totally organized. Living Life Totally Organized Facebook group. There's a link in this show page. Well, do you know what time it is? I can hear you chanting. I can just feel the chants getting louder and louder and louder. It is Toss It Tuesday time. And this week, I want you to start getting rid of the materials and information from businesses and maybe careers that are no longer of interest to you. There was a time when I sold Avon. Then I think I did a little attempt at Mary Kay. I sold jewelry. But I no longer need any of that stuff. Now, of course, some of the jewelry I still have. I don't really have any of the makeup because that was a long time ago. But I don't need any of that information, all that promotional information, all those business cards. Let it go. My app suggestion for you this week is called Goals on Track. It's a robust and comprehensive smart goal setting software program that helps you set, track, and share goals, manage tasks, track your time, build those habits, create a vision board, keep goals journal, and achieve more success in reaching both personal and business goals. It's called Goals on Track. That's my app suggestion. My product suggestion for this week are, how we have those little dry erase boards? Well, these are dry erase stickies. They're 4x4 and they're really great because maybe you just need a note by the door that says, pick up more dog food or pick up some salad fixings, or, maybe repair this or do that. It's really great. So those are my product suggestions for this week, and they are available in my Amazon shop. They are dry erase sticky notes, a 6-pack of 4x4 small whiteboard stickers. And they're great for lists and reminders and etc. And my repurpose, check out the Repurpose the Office, because maybe you have a piece of furniture, maybe all it needs is a new coat of paint or maybe a new look. Bring out that inner DIYer in you. And my book suggestion for you this week is Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, Living the Wisdom of the Time. And it is by Wayne Dwyer. And it is, again, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. My quote for this week is, it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can be best managed change. Charles Darwin. Again, it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can manage change. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Got Clutter, Get Organized. I want to thank you for listening. Be sure to share this podcast with your family, your friends, and on your social media. And again, let me know you're enjoying this podcast by leaving a review, and be sure to visit my website at janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, you have a clutter-free day, but most of all, you have an organized week. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemmas. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you are listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized.